This video is intended to assist the Life to Eagle candidate through the Eagle Scout Service Project. To assist you through this process, there is a workbook online called the Eagle Scout Service Project Workbook. It is fillable and expandable in PDF. You are required to fill out all of the relevant information and all 3 sections of the workbook. Please keep in mind that only the first and third sections need to be turned in. The Eagle Scout project process in the workbook has 3 sections: the proposal, the plan, and then the final report. The Eagle Scout project workbook does require that you keep track of the time within this project. However, there is not a section for completing that documentation. Do keep it on a separate document, either in a project notebook or on a laptop, to ensure that you have captured all of the hours you have dedicated to the planning, proposal, and execution of your Eagle Scout project. The Eagle candidate is responsible for finding a project. It can be the Scout's idea or a beneficiary's idea. It should be something that the Scout enjoys, believes in, and can accomplish. In selecting a project, consider the following guidelines. Try not to choose routine labor or routine maintenance alone as your project. Specifically, not done to a BSA property or improvement to any activity that would benefit the Boy Scouts of America. They also want your project not to be strictly a fundraiser or something that will benefit a commercial endeavor for profit. When considering a group for your Eagle Scout project, consider how it will benefit them, what the safety risks are, and the challenges to overcome. Once you have selected a project and are working with a beneficiary, it's now time to start the project proposal. This will be edited significantly along the way as you have continued meetings with your beneficiary to discuss exactly what it is they would like accomplished. When considering your project proposal, consider the 5 acceptability tests. Be sure to speak with your beneficiary and your Life to Eagle coordinator to help you figure out if it provides a sufficient opportunity to meet the requirement. If it appears feasible, all safety issues will be addressed, and that all of your action steps within the plan are met. Within the project proposal, there is a section to assist you with the beneficiary. It helps you communicate with them, provides thanks and congratulations for accepting the project, and gives some background information for the beneficiary to review and answers any questions they might have. Please keep in mind that it's only after your final proposal has been approved that you can begin work on your project. Let's look now at how to fill out the information. The first step is to fill out your contact page. This page must be completely filled in, and your Life to Eagle coordinator can assist you with the specific details. One of the first things that the project proposal asks for is photos, both before and after pictures with captions to help the reader understand specifically what you're trying to accomplish. Following that, there is a place for you to fill in how you will be giving leadership, what materials you'll need, and what supplies will be needed to achieve your goal. Sometimes there is confusion between what is a material and what is a supply. So when filling out your materials, be sure that included in that are anything that is part of the finished product. And supplies are those things that you will need to assist your volunteers during the activity of completing your project proposal. Second page of your project proposal asks you to list any tools and equipment that will be used, other needs that don't fit into any of the other categories, as well as permits and permissions. The preliminary costs are a great way to help the beneficiary understand the estimate of what it will cost. And finally, the project phases that you will go through to complete your project. Those phases can include planning, material purchase, organization, pre-making, and actual implementation. The third page of your proposal includes logistics, which is how you're going to move all of the materials and volunteers to the site where you'd like to complete your project. Consider as well safety issues and final planning. This is a good opportunity for you to chat with your Lifety Eagle coordinator to help you work through some of the safety issues and planning opportunities you may not be fully aware of. Now it's time for review with your Lifety Eagle coordinator and sign your candidate's promise. We want to do this after you're sure you've edited and beautified your plan to be acceptable to the following signatories. After you have edited your document to your satisfaction, it's now time to get project approvals. The first approval should be the beneficiary. After the beneficiary of your project, you need to reach out to your unit leader or scoutmaster, as well as the unit committee chair. Be prepared for edits. They may have questions and suggestions for improvement that may require you go back and edit your project proposal. The last person to sign your project proposal and approve it is the district representative of NCAC. For our district, we have multiple Eagle advisors. Our primary advisor is Mr. Brad Scales, and his contact information is at the bottom of this page. Before your district representative can sign your project proposal, they will ask for a meeting. The expectations of the district Eagle advisor will be that the scout set up the meeting directly. The appointment will last for about 60 minutes, in which case the Eagle advisor will ask explicit and specific questions about your project proposal and ask for verification and specification on exactly what you're going to accomplish. Be ready and be prepared. Now that you have achieved all of the signatures required for your project proposal, it's time to plan. And that planning is required as part of your Eagle rank. The project plan is provided for you as part of the workbook and is optional. It is a great organizational tool for most scouts, and understand that not the entire workbook will be needed for every project plan. The workbook itself provides areas for you to describe your project, include any attachments, permits, materials, supplies, and tools, all other needs, including tracking your expenses and the logistics, in one place for you to keep all of your information as you get ready to perform and execute your plan. The old adage goes in woodworking, you measure twice and cut once. So the more planning you do and pay attention to detail and share this information with your beneficiary, the less likely there will be changes at the time of execution. Hopefully by this time you have volunteered on one or two other Eagle projects before it's time for you to do it yourself. Here's a few tips. Remember that you, the Eagle Scout candidate, must be the leader. Make sure that others are regularly and consistently involved in the project and not sitting idle. Providing leadership within your project means that you are directing the activities of your project. Try not to let adults be too helpful. They're there to provide guidance and assistance, but it is ultimately your decision on what happens within the project. Be sure to take notes of any changes that happen from your original plan, and be sure that you clean up when you are done and that the beneficiary is completely satisfied with your work. When conducting your final project plan with your beneficiary, remember that it is a Boy Scout activity and it still needs to follow the guidelines of the Boy Scouts of America. All policies and procedures remain in place: youth protection and 2 Deep leadership, as well as remembering that while you are the Eagle Scout candidate and responsible for the project, leadership is there to assure safety while you are conducting your final project. For some projects, fundraising can be a large part of your proposal and your project. There is a project fundraising application if your project is going to cost more than $500. If your project costs less than $500, there is no need to fill out and submit the project funding application. It is permitted only for securing materials and facilitating your project. It can be done without council approval from the beneficiary, yourself, your relatives, your unit, the chartered organization, or parents and members of the unit. If you find that you are in need of securing more than $500, NCAC is responsible for approving the project fundraising application. You can fax directly to them at the number listed below. At some point during your project or after the project is completed, it's time to fill out the final project report. You'll find that this is very similar to the project proposal. While the proposal was asking for ideas and estimations, now it's looking for specifics. What exactly happened? What did you observe? How was your leadership? Exactly how much money did you earn and did you spend? The final project report asks about your leadership, how you demonstrated leadership, and what was rewarding about it during your project. They will also want all of the service project data, which you may keep on a separate spreadsheet, explaining all of the people that came and assisted you with your project and the number of hours they helped. The last page asks specifically about your funding, how much was collected, how much was spent, what you did with any leftover funding, and very importantly, how you thanked the donors. Be sure to include photos and other documentation of before and after pictures, and sign your project proposal with your candidate's signature. As you see here, the Scout's signature goes under the candidate's promise. It's below that, after the candidate signs, that the beneficiary signs saying this project has been completed, followed by the unit leader saying they too have witnessed this Scout project being completed. At this point, you might be breathing a sigh of relief, saying, "My project is over." But remember, the final approval for your project is done at your Board of Review. So be prepared and ready to answer the following questions. The following has been a review of the Eagle Project. We at Troop 966 hope that you find this very helpful.